the third Average Joe Lawn Care Show. I'm excited to be back, and I appreciate everybody that's tuning in tonight. So far, we are having zero technical difficulties, so that's a plus over the last two shows. But considering it's the third time's a charm. So tonight we have with us Brett Goodyear from Brett's Grasscapades. And
hello.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show tonight. I'm glad it's Friday. I hope everybody else is just enjoying their Friday evening, able to rewind, or not rewind, but kind of decompress and just have a good time. Grab your favorite drink, sit down, relax, and just enjoy the show. If you want to be involved with us, jump in the chats, leave us a comment. Give me a topic, or give us a topic or something to talk about. If you have a question about something, leave it down there. By no means are we professionals, but we do have a plethora of experience in the DIY area as homeowners. Brett probably has a lot more than I do because he reel mows, and I think that you learn a lot more when you reel mow versus when you rotary mow, but
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's just me. Brett, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody how you're doing and what you are doing.
I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. What's up? Hi, everybody. I'm Brett. I'm here. I'm on Ben's show. I'm excited to be here. Life is crazy right now. A lot of you know, maybe some of you don't know, but I just moved to Florida. And so I went from hanging out with Jimmy and Connor in the snow to it was like 85 degrees today. So big change. And so I'm here. I'm excited. Ready to go.
Now you I don't know who wouldn't know, but you moved from Utah down to Florida, right?
Correct.
How is the weather transition given the time of year it is?
It's been weird, man. It's super weird to go outside. Like, it'll look. So we had a hurricane come through here the other day, and so it was overcast and rainy and stuff all day, and it looked like the weather was bad, and it looked like it should be cold, and then you go outside and it's obviously not cold. So it's been weird.
Have you ever experienced a hurricane before?
No, they ordered one special for me, I think. Like, I've been here like a week and a half, and it was funny because when we were getting ready to move here, we're doing all kind of research, and my wife's looking at everything. She's like, "Well, hey, the area we're moving to, uh, they haven't had a hurricane hit them for like 100 years." Uh, and sure enough, like the first week we're here,
Yeah, you're due.
It hit like direct, right where we're at. It rained solid like 24 hours straight. I had to go out. And drain the pool in the middle of the pouring down rain because it was about to overflow. I had to drain like a foot of water out of it, and surprisingly, to nobody, I'm sure, I don't know what I'm doing with a pool. I've never had a pool before, so I'm out there in the pouring down rain trying to figure out what the heck to do. It was miserable.
What?
But our house didn't flood, so
that's a plus.
That is a plus.
I would say, growing up, I grew up with my parents' house had a pool. There's a lot of work that goes into maintaining a pool. I don't ever want to own a pool. I don't envy anybody that does.
Oh yeah, dude, it's crazy. All the crap.
Yeah.
I 100% found a guy to just do it for me though, because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I would say the plus that you have is you have a cover, so you're not getting a lot of debris in your pool. So that's definitely a plus, because that's sometimes half the battle with maintaining a pool is keeping it clean all the time with outside debris.
Yeah, no, that they in Florida they call that a lanai. the lanai, the screened-in lanai.
Fancy.
I'm learning all the Florida lingo and whatnot, man. So the screened-in lanai is super nice. And it's really nice because here we have these mosquitoes that are like the size of small children. Uh, and they don't get into there. So it's super nice to have it so you can actually sit outside and not be carried away by a dinosaur. Like it's good. I highly recommend.
Well, I went to grad school down in Corpus Christi, and I was down there for 2 years, so I got used to never experiencing winter or fall. It was pretty much summer, spring,
It's
and then summer again.
it's a weird thing, man.
I didn't like it. I enjoy experiencing all 4 seasons. While I grew up down in Dallas, Texas, it's not Missouri, but you still experience to some degree like a winter, if you would. You don't experience any of that when you're down that far south.
No, no. Like I said, it's yeah. My neighbor from Utah sent me a picture yesterday, the day before. Sent me a picture of our house, and there's like 3 inches of snow on the ground. I'm like, I'm in shorts and short sleeves, and I'm sweating my freaking head off. Like it's like 85 degrees and 100% humidity here. It's terrible.
That's funny.
So yeah.
Well, I'm just going to jump over to the chat, see all who's here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining in the chat. And for anybody that doesn't have the audacity to jump in the chat, feel free to do so. Jason, I know your YouTube channel. I just can't pronounce your last name. It's Sieberlich, maybe? Jason Sieberlich, thanks for joining. Logan Burnett, Turf Therapy. Rob, what's going on? And happy...
Rob in the house, man.
Happy late Veterans Day to Rob and Brett. Belated Veterans Day. Thank you for your service to our country.
Rob's not a veteran, though.
What's that?
Rob's not a veteran. He's active duty.
Oh.
He doesn't.
Well,
I can say that.
Yeah, you can get away with saying that. I cannot. Justin, shouldn't you be saving people's lives right now? If you guys didn't know, Justin was supposed to be on. What's that?
Must be a slow night at the firehouse.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Justin was going to be back on the show, but he is a fireman, and their schedules are very irregular, and sometimes they trade shifts, so he wasn't able to make tonight's show. So instead, we have an even better guest, Brett, to
way better than Justin,
to join us tonight. Super TA, thanks for coming in again. Grace Ortiz, you two are probably one of the most frequent commenters I see on so many YouTubers throughout the lawn care community.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Both of them.
RVA Lawn Love, Eric, what's going on, man? It's been a long time since we've heard from you.
I didn't know Eric was still alive.
Yeah, I think he's just gotten busy with work. But hopefully he can jump on that YouTube video pretty soon.
Who works?
I don't know. Well, we all know you don't anymore. the lawn analyst, thanks again. Meister of my lawn, Lake House Lawn Care, Bush League Lawn. What's going on, Brandon? STL representing. Mario Marcillo, thanks for joining in. Jimmy Lewis, what's going on, buddy? Dan Mack. David Barron, Blank Man, who I think might be Left Tool, but I'm not sure. The verdict is out on
Blank
that one.
Man and Left Tool always comment.
I know.
You're really close to each other.
That is a sweet movie, though. Blank Man is one of the funniest movies that I've seen.
And Blank Man is always very complimentary of Left Tool.
Princess Cut Lawn Care, thanks for joining in. He asks, I'm assuming he's asking you, definitely not me. Are you the new CEO of Yard Mastery, Brett?
Yes.
No,
I'm not. But maybe soon.
We don't know.
You never know. But no.
It looks like Nebraska. That's a creative name. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. I think I've hit on everybody so far. But anyways, guys, if you're new to the show, I appreciate you tuning in. For those, if you're not, if like I said, if you're new to the show, this show is really just having a good time talking about lawn care, relating it as a DIY perspective, just kind of giving our take on what our experiences have been, having a good time, and hopefully, maybe some good stories come out of what we talk about tonight. I don't know. We just never know. It's just kind of
Probably not.
maybe it's kind of like opening Pandora's box. Maybe we find something and maybe we don't. But anyway, I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. This has become very fun to do. It's kind of nerve wracking at the very beginning, like 10 or 15 minutes beforehand. You're like, man, I got the show. I'm hoping everything goes well tonight as far as the technology aspect of things, because I have no problem talking to people. It's more about, I hope I can figure out how to turn the computer back on and make this all happen again.
We did it, though.
Yeah. This was the first smooth beginning to the show that we've had since I've started it. So
it's almost like it's because you had a better guest than the last 2 weeks.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
No, Jimmy and Justin were great guests.
Well, I mean, I think the question of the day for everybody, since we all know you're in Florida now, what kind of grass are you going to be putting down?
So that is the big question. You know, I don't know, honestly. Well, I mean, so I've got it narrowed down, right? We know for sure it is not going to be St. Augustine. That is just not happening. I mean, it's awful. I mean, it is a terrible. It looks good, honestly. So, like, I was out at the Freedom Factory today with Alan.
Yeah.
And they've got that Provista St. Augustine out there, and it looks really good, honestly. Like, the color is really pretty, a good looking grass, but walking on it is terrible. And that is the reason that I have grass. Like, I want to be able to be barefoot in my lawn. So St. Augustine is obviously a no go, especially since I can't mow it short. So really, it's down to either Bermuda or Zoysia, or both. I'm not opposed to having multiple grass types. I've really, my lawn's really, I haven't shown it yet. I need to do like a walkthrough of my new property. I just haven't done it. There's a
You're
lot of
too
things.
busy at the Freedom Factory. We get it.
I know, just playing out there. But so my lawn really has like 3 sections. I've got my front lawn. It's like 3,000 square foot. My back lawn that's inside of my fence is about 10,000 square feet, and then I've got a section behind my fence that backs up to a pond, and there's another probably 3 or 4,000 square feet there. So I think I might break it up into two different two different types of grass. So maybe in the front, because the front is the showpiece, right? Yeah, you want everybody to see. And so I'm thinking in the front, I'm gonna real mow the front for sure. So I'm thinking in the front to do Bermuda. That way I can real mow it real tight and make it look real good. And then in the big section of the backyard where the kids play and where we spend more time, may possibly go in zoysia there. I can still mow zoysia pretty short, um, but I don't know that I'll real mow it because it's a lot bigger. 10,000 square feet to real mow is a lot.
I thought
So
you had a triplex.
I did have a triplex. I do not currently have a triplex.
What
So I
happened
went
to it?
from fun story.
Here
I
we go. Pandora's box.
It's really not that fun of a story. I'm making making a little comment there at old Jimmy from last week. Jimmy likes to say fun story even when it's not a fun story. It makes the story sound more fun. But I love you, Jimmy. Um, but no, so I sold the triplex when I knew I was going to move here. I I had like the world's biggest garage in Utah,
Oh yeah, you did.
and uh, I mean it was freaking huge. Like literally, my third bay in my garage in Utah was 50 feet deep. Like just ridiculous. It's the reason I bought that house. But so I went from that to a normal size garage, and believe it or not, I don't have room for all of the random toys that I had before. And the house that we bought here in Florida is in an HOA, so they kind of frown on leaving stuff outside. And yeah, so the triplex is gone. So and it was honestly bigger than I ever needed. So I'll I've got a zero turn that I'm probably gonna mow that backyard section with.
Is that the
And
errands or the?
yep,
Okay.
the errands. It's a pretty sweet little mower. It's awesome. I love that thing.
I thought you were supposed to leave that with Jimmy or Connor.
Well, so yeah, so Jimmy so the only YouTuber in Utah who did not try to get that mower from me was Jinja. But everyone else, Jeremy, Jimmy, and Connor were all like, "Hey, you're gonna leave that at my house." Connor was like, "I deserve that mower. I earned it," which I don't understand how he deserves, but it's Connor, so you just have to ignore him. Um, but yeah, so no, nobody got it. Had I gotten a house that had a smaller lot, I could have potentially left it with one of them, but I did not. So I needed it.
Sure.
I need it.
Sure. Well, I mean, it sounds like
So
that backyard might be it might be, you might be doing some putting green action back there with how big it is.
you never know.
I mean,
You
you're
never know.
talking multiple grass types. Maybe make the fairway some zoysia, or the chipping area zoysia, and then go Bermuda on the green. I don't know, just an
Good.
idea.
Maybe thin grass. Who knows? Who knows what we're gonna do? I don't know, but I mean something soon because it's so bad. My lawn is
So are you gonna
just
smoke it all off, or?
yeah. So we'll kill it all off, and it's pretty uneven. So I'll probably kill it off, and then bring a bobcat in and do some grading because it needs some grading.
So if you're gonna do that, would you kill it off, or just like, I don't know, cut it out?
I think I would probably still kill it at first. I mean, a lot of it's probably going to come out
Sure.
anyways, but I want to make sure that anything because I've got a bunch of torpedo grass in there, which is apparently really hard to get rid of.
Yep.
So I'd like to try to kill that and really start fresh, so there's not anything alive in there.
Sure.
Who
That
knows?
makes sense.
Who knows what'll actually happen? But something is going to happen
Yeah. Well, I
because
mean,
it's so bad.
I mean, being I'm still in the first year of this house, and I remember moving in, and I don't know, like I would love to do a lot of stuff out in the lawn, but at the same time, it's like I'm gonna try to do what I can with it, and make it look as best it can, and then just kind of, as time progresses, then I'll just jump on maybe doing some more ambitious projects with it, um, but yours just sounds like it might be a little bit different because it does.
I have something that a lot of people obviously don't in having Alan Hain as my boss, and when the biggest lawn YouTuber on YouTube is your boss, and he's always looking for new content, it actually works out really good in your favor for doing stuff to your lawn. So I've got that going for me. So it'll probably happen here pretty soon.
Sounds like you might be making a trip to Bethel Farms pretty soon and getting
Uh,
yourself some
It's
sod.
it's on the list of things to do. So there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff, and you know, I'm really excited with the ability to be able to do stuff year round.
Yeah,
You know, I'm going from Utah where I literally, I mean, like, Jimmy's still here. Jimmy can tell you it's the season's done there.
sure.
Like they're like no more lawn content from Jimmy Lewis this year. He's done. Yeah. So like, and I obviously here now. Like, man, we're still going strong. So that's pretty cool for me.
So that's one thing I don't know if I would be excited about, or I don't know. I don't know if
You know, it's weird, right? Yeah, because it's like my whole life. Yeah, I've never lived this far south. I lived in Georgia for most of my life. But the grass goes dormant there. Yeah, so when you get to wintertime, like, yeah, you don't have to mow from December or January until April,
mm-hmm.
and going from that to this to where there's no time off is it's pretty weird, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, that's one of the things that like because I kind of take winter as a break, and because usually around this time I'm still going. Like I'll still have probably maybe two mows. I would say at a minimum two more mows, and then at max three. But like right now, I'm just kind of like I'm ready to just hang it up, be ready for winter, and then usually I'm ready to go back. Middle of December. But that never happens. Obviously, we're
Right.
you know
Yeah, I mean it's certainly gonna be different, but I guess I'll get used to it.
yeah. uh, well, for to address the technical difficulties that just happened, I have no idea why Brett's screen just got giant, but I fixed the problem and it'll get corrected here in a second once the 10 to 15-second delay catches up. So I don't know why that happened.
Ah, there it is. There it is.
Um, yeah, so I love Bermuda. And if I live down south, like if I live back down in Dallas, I would look forward to having a Bermuda lawn again because when I grew up down there, I had no idea what I was doing. I was mowing it like at 3 inches, and now that I know what I know, I'm like, man, I could have made that look dynamite. And
Right.
and there it goes again. Dang it! What is going on? But anyway,
Larger than life, man.
yeah, I don't know. It's not a big deal. It's fixed again. Hopefully it stays that way. But that's like when I was doing the Bermuda stuff at the very small Bermuda patch that I had at the old house, I just loved it. And being in the area that we are here, like you can literally do anything with Bermuda and it's not going to have a problem. You're not going to deal with fungus with Bermuda. It's growing season's short. All you're really doing is mowing and fertilizing. That's all you're doing. Now, being down in your area, you're obviously going to deal with disease issues among other things because you're in more of an area that has more stresses that would act on Bermuda and warm season grasses. So
It is hot and it's humid and it's wet. Like my lawn right now is so wet. So I'm sure I'm gonna have all kinds of disease issues and stuff with that. And I honestly have never really dealt with it. So Alan's all excited because he's like, "Oh man, you had it so easy in Utah. I can't wait to see how hard it is for you to grow grass here."
I mean,
Uh,
there's some truth to that. I'll be
so I'll be the first to tell you, Utah is like the perfect climate for growing grass.
yeah.
Like, and cool season grasses. are pretty dang easy to grow. Like, they just are. There's not a lot that you have to do with it. Uh, and, honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to warm season grass. Like, growing up, we had a fescue lawn. Uh, so I never really even had warm season grass when we lived in Georgia because I lived in northern Georgia, transition zone,
Sure.
and fescue did fine. And, you know, so I've never dealt with Bermuda. I've never dealt with St. Aug. I've never dealt with, centipede or zoysia or anything like that, really. So I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, literally no idea. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an adventure.
Yeah.
So I mean, my lawn is total trash right now. So
Well, I mean, to be honest, like I always thought, you know, not that you guys had it easy in Utah, but I thought when
dude,
Alan called you guys out on that, I'm like, there's a lot of truth to that because I never see any content from the lawn care YouTubers in Utah about disease or insects or anything like that. It's always just about fertilizing and
so
mowing.
that's because that's all you have to
I
do. You
know.
fertilize, like it's so easy. And Jimmy, he freaking knows it. He'll tell you it's easy. And in Utah, at least where I was, and I know Jimmy's the same way, we had secondary irrigation water,
Yep.
like that you don't have to pay for. Like, so I see all these guys in the forums and stuff on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, $500 water bill this month for water." And I'm like, "Shoot, I could water every day for hours and never see a water bill." So it's gonna be a big change being here
Yeah.
and not having all the luxuries of the Utah perfect climate to grow grass in.
Well, I'm going to jump over in the chat. Growing with Greg asks, what do you think about late season fertilizing or just putting down iron to make it pop early in spring? John from Pro Pete suggested they're 7-4-14. Brett, I'll let you take that one.
Uh, when it comes to late season fertilizing, they everything I've ever heard is that it's the most important fertilization of the year, right? Yeah, so I di- I don't have anything specifically that I've used that, I'm like, oh, this is the best winterizer or whatever you want to call it. It's always, in my experience, from what I've always done, is whatever I've got laying around ends up being my winterizer fertilizer. So the ProPete 7414 probably would be a great option. So I freaking love ProPete. ProPete is a fantastic product, so I don't think you can go wrong with ProPete.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is that I know generally that it's a good idea to push nitrogen in the fall, and then if you're going to do any other macronutrients, potassium's a good one to be putting down as well. But then I also know like as the like with your because I did kind of the fall blitz program this year about because I was doing a quarter pound of nitrogen every week to kind of just help my lawn fix its problems that it had this year with all the fungus.
Right.
Because I was using a lot of that, a lot of those applications were coming from ammonium sulfate. So I noticed a huge difference between doing that and what I had done in previous years, where in the fall in previous years I was doing maybe a half to 3/4 pounds of nitrogen every 3 to 4 weeks. Um, and which at that point in time, you're maybe like for me, I'd probably get, I don't know, 3 applications down at the most for the fall. So I think what I've heard for a general rule of thumb as far as when your last application is, and this is coming from Alan because I learn a lot from him, is that your last application, it's just a good rule to go, a week after what you think your last mow is going to be. So I have not used any Pro Pete products yet. I've heard really good things about it. I just haven't used any yet.
That's all I put on my lawn there in Utah this year. They did a great job. I have no issue with them. They super good fertilizer in my opinion.
The Lawn Whisperer said high K can increase snow mold. Ladies and gentlemen, I know nothing about that, so I can't. I can either.
I have heard that as well. I saw online somebody posted a study about that. Um, I where I was at in Utah, I didn't get a lot of snow. So it wasn't like we would go, like Connor's way high in elevation.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would get snow, which is why he always gets snow mold. He gets snow, where he's got a foot of snow that stayed on his lawn, the whole winter.
Sure.
So like for me, snow mold wasn't an issue because we'd get snow and then the next day it'd be like 40 degrees and it'd be gone. So I never had a snow mold issue.
That's definitely not something I deal with here in Missouri, in the St. Louis areas, because we don't have. We'll get snow, but we know we don't have long prolonged snow coverage, and I think if from what I've seen, that's really what causes a lot of that. Like when you're more prone to getting snow mold is when you have prolonged periods of having very large quantities of snow covering the grass. Is that correct?
I think so. That's what I've seen at least.
Okay.
I like I said, I've never had an issue with it. So maybe high K will do that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And I think the studies would suggest that maybe if you're in an area that has snow coverage prolonged, like you said,
Sure.
maybe you shouldn't put high K. But
Yeah. Super TA said, "Make." And I'm assuming this is towards you, Brett. He said, "Make your boss happy and slap some 22s on that reel mower and go for St. Augustine."
Alan keeps telling me that I have to have St. Augustine to work at Yard Mastery.
Well, you could
So
include if you
I put my 2 weeks notice in already. So
if
certainly not St.
you
Aug.
could if you do put a green in your backyard, you could always include some St. Augustine as like the rough.
I think I'm gonna leave the St. Augustine behind the fence up there against the pond. Honestly, just because I don't care about that.
Sure. Is that area part of your yard?
Yeah, so it's part of my yard. There's like a 10-foot easement from the pond, but I still have to maintain it. But yeah, I think that'll probably just stay the way that it is,
Sure.
natural.
Blank
But
Man says, in your opinion, who are the Beatles of YouTube lawn care? I got John Perry, Ryan Knorr, Connor Ward, and Left Tool. I only think Left Tool is thrown in there because I'm still thinking this is Left Tool asking the
it's
question.
100% Left Tool.
But I don't know who the Beatles of lawn care are.
It's not a bad list.
No.
But it's Left Tool.
100%. If you guys want to leave some super chats guessing who Blank Man is, go for it. I'm just kidding.
Make sure they're good super chats. Or you could just make the checkout to me. That would work really well.
Princess Lawn Cut, Brett had kind of talked about the garage and the garage situation in Florida compared to what he's got, what he had in Utah. He's living with all of us. He's got a normal garage now.
I'm back down with the peasants with the small garages.
I've always thought your guys, when I saw your garages on YouTube, like you and Jimmy, I'm like, goodness, that's like a separate house.
Jimmy's garage was tiny compared to my garage.
No, yeah,
though.
I know that, but it was still really high.
Jimmy had some major garage envy.
Sure.
Dude, that garage in Utah, like I said, the third bay was 50 feet deep, The ceiling was 16 feet high. I had at one point I had pallet racking in there, full size pallet racking put up in there,
Wow.
like you have at like Costco.
That's insane.
I had so much room for storage. Yeah. Now I'm back. I can like touch the ceiling in my garage now.
So
It's
so
sad.
that's what we had a 2-car garage at our old house, and then this one we have a 3-car garage, and the third bay is kind of just, it's basically like our shed. That's what we
Right.
use it as, because for the time being, I don't see us really needing any third car, because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. No. See, and that makes going from a 2-car garage to a 3-car garage like that for you. You're like, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
it
It's huge.
was.
But for me, like, I'm like, man, I could fit like 3 of those garages in my old garage. So it's
Well, yeah, because I remember you had like that deck area that you built that went up to your upper lofted
yeah,
storage area.
yeah, man. I had so much room in there. I miss that garage. And now I've got like no room. It's so bad.
So when you made the move or the drive, how long of a drive is that?
So I drove from my house in Utah to my parents' house in Georgia, and that was 28 hours of driving. Uh,
Did you do
it
it straight?
No, we stopped. We stopped twice. So we stopped in a little town in Colorado called Rifle, Colorado, up in the mountains before you go up I-70 down into Denver, because it was like the middle of the night. There was 6 inches of ice on the roads, and I was pulling a trailer. It was awful. And like, of course, like the week that I have to drive across the country, there's like this freak snowstorm in October, and they got hammered in that area. We woke up on day 2. It was 1 degree outside. It was miserable. So we drove from there. Then we stopped actually just outside of St. Louis. Uh, in your neck of the woods was our stop the second night.
I
Uh,
gotta pause you real quick. Did you include, was one of the clips in your YouTube video of you going through St. Louis?
it was.
Because I think it was like a cloudy, foggy day, and I couldn't
Yeah,
tell.
it was nasty.
Okay, because I thought I saw the arch in the distance, but I was like, I can't tell.
Yeah, so we went through St. Louis. We stopped in outside of St. Louis.
Okay.
Uh, that second night, we we got in like midnight. Stopped there for like 8 hours, and then we were gone. We were gone by 6 in the morning the next day. It was enough to go to sleep and take back off. Then we went from St. Louis all the way into Atlanta. So it was like 28, 30 hours, something like that, to drive from Utah to Atlanta, and then we hung out in Atlanta for a couple of days, and then drove down to here to Florida, um, and that's like 8 hours from there. So there's a lot of driving. It sucked. Especially with a full truck and then a full trailer
Sure.
behind it. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Princess Cut Lawn Care with the 9.99 super chat.
Thank you so much, Princess George.
George is the man.
Yeah, he's. I really like his live stream that he's got going on. It's way more professional than what I have here, so you guys should tune into his live stream. I think he's got one going on this weekend with Ron.
I think I maybe
Ron
I know
Ron Henry, I believe. I don't know. Did I just
maybe
spill the beans? I didn't mean to, but you should check his channel out anyway. He does a really cool live stream that he just started. Again, it's way more professional than what I have going on here. But thanks again for the contribution. I'll be sure to tip Brett next time he comes in town and buys me a beer.
I need a tip for sure. Uh, Which, hey, George, I saw that you sent me an Instagram message. I'm not ignoring you. Uh, I will respond to you. It went to my like requests, and that's where messages go to die. If you message me and it goes to request, chances are I'm gonna forget about it and never respond to you. But I like George, and that reminded me that I need to message him back.
Scott O'Hara, thanks for joining in. Did you miss anything? Yeah, Brett said he's quitting lawn care.
Yep, I'm done. I'm gonna be an interpretive dancer.
He's turning his whole lawn into gravel.
Yep, that's gonna be
and
awesome.
then he's gonna real mow the gravel. That's how he's going out. He's just gonna destroy his real mower.
It's yeah.
So what does your wife think about all this stuff? Like, I mean, you obviously were with Do My Own. You were doing your lawn care stuff in Utah, making videos and whatnot. But now it's, I feel like, hitting another level with like your lawn care stuff and working for Alan.
She's super supportive of everything, man. She's all in. She actually watches a bunch of the different channels, uh, and so she's involved behind the scenes. So she already kind of knows what's going on, and so she knew who Alan was, and she knew what he was doing, and so when the job offer came in, she was super supportive, and she was like, "Yeah, it sounds like a great idea." Um, so funny story about this,
Is this going to
and
be a really funny story?
I'm not just saying that like Timmy. Um, so when this job came in from Alan, when Alan offered me this job, uh, so I didn't tell my wife that he was coming to town, and I didn't even know honestly. So Alan was coming to Utah, and he was coming out there to meet with some of the yard master guys. Some of the developers are there in Utah, and then his business partner Josh, he's up in Montana,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was coming into town. And he was going to set up a get together with everybody, and so I knew that was happening, and so I actually reached out to Alan before it came out, because I had seen in a couple of those Facebook groups where people were complaining about product being damaged
Mm-hmm.
in transit, and that's what I did at Do My Own. I ran the distribution facility for them based out of Utah. And so I reached out to Alan and I was like, "Hey, man, I know you're going to be in town next week. If you're looking, if you want, I can give you some pointers, maybe help you out with shipping, to maybe fix some of the issues that you have." And he was like, "Yeah, that's great. I'd love to do that." So I didn't tell my wife that had this conversation with Alan, or that he was coming to town or anything like that, because I didn't think she would care, or any, whatever. So I didn't tell her that he was coming to town, and or that I was meeting with him. And so he came to my facility there in Salt Lake, and I walked him through and showed him everything. We just kind of generally talked for a while about all kinds of stuff. And at the end of the conversation, he was like, "Hey, man, what would it take to just get you to come do this for me?" And so it all went from there. And so the funny part about this story is the day before he showed up, without my wife knowing that he was coming or anything like that, my wife came up to me and she was like, "You know what would be kind of cool if we, living in Florida for a couple of years." Like literally out of nowhere, she brought that up.
The stars aligned.
And yeah, it was the craziest thing. And then the next day, I met with Alan, and the rest is history. So it was super crazy, super. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, man, too many things have lined up for it not to be something that I need to be doing. So and since then everything's worked out perfectly. I couldn't have asked for things to have worked out better.
Yeah, I mean,
So
considering how quickly everything, like the whole transition from you moving, selling in Utah and moving down to Florida, I mean,
dude, it was quick.
yeah.
It was like crazy. It was crazy. Hey
Yes.
Scott O'Hare, he is
Yeah,
awesome.
Scott, thank you so much for that. That's unnecessary, but very much appreciated. I do appreciate that. My super chats comment earlier was really just a joke. But Left Tool did come in and say about the Beatles comment. He's like, that wasn't me. Where was it? Let me find it in the chat.
That's a lie. He's lying. Don't listen to Left Tool.
Oh, he said I would have asked who the Jonas Brothers of lawn care are. He said that wasn't because he said he hates the Beatles. So I don't know.
Nobody believes it.
But seriously, Scott, that's very kind of you, and I greatly appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in tonight and joining us tonight. I think Scott O'Hare and Grace Ortiz and who is the other one? Oh, Super TA. Those are the guys that I consistently see comment on so many of like I'll find YouTube channels that I didn't know about, and I'll go through the comment section. I'm like, man, Grace
They're
Grace
everywhere.
Ortiz was
It's
here like
true.
5 months ago. Where was I?
It's true. There has been more than one occasion that I've had that happen
Yeah.
where I'm like, holy crap, like how did these people know about everyone? Like literally everyone. It's
There's
awesome.
the
It's super
the
awesome. The lawn care community online on YouTube is freaking awesome.
one it's blown
Like
up.
it has. It's awesome though.
It
I love it.
uh yeah, I just I don't know. So out of the warm season grasses that you might take on between Bermuda and Zoysia, what do you like best? Because I really like Bermuda for its ability to be extremely aggressive quickly. I know Zoysia is aggressive too, but it just takes a lot more time. I would say Zoysia is kind of the Eeyore of warm season grasses.
So I like the way Zoysia
Yeah,
looks. I like the feel of Zoysia. I really don't know a ton about it, so yeah, it will be interesting to go out. Alan's talked about going out to Bethel
mm-hmm.
Farms to go, you know, see what they're doing out there. So it'll be interesting to go out and actually, get my hands, my feet on it. So I don't know a ton about it, but Bermuda, I mean, I see guys like John Ware and the Lawn Tools, man, and that's just it's gorgeous. As much as I like to give those guys crap about their lawns, like it when it's mowed real short like that, man, it's just
Yeah.
awesome. So that's what's intriguing to me. Obviously being a real mower guy, um, it's intriguing to be able to mow something so short and have it be that aggressive. So,
Does your do you ever let your wife mow the lawn?
so my wife in another funny story, I guess. No, my wife actually really loves the zero turn. When Jeremy was trying to get it off of me, my wife was the one who was like, "Yeah, no deal, bro. Sorry." She really enjoys mowing with the zero turn. Um, so she's allowed to mow with that. I've been wanting to get her on the real mower. I don't know if she would do it, but I mean, I am not one of those guys that's like overly obsessed with like not don't the lawn has to be
Sure.
perfect and you can't work on it or you can't like you know I let anytime people would come to my house to mow my grass like I'd let people do whatever they want. Jeremy mowed like circles in my grass one time. I don't care. It's just grass. It grows back. It's easy to grow, especially there in Utah. It was easy to grow. But you know, I'm I'd let her mow it if she wants to. If she wants to try the real mower, I'd let her do it for sure.
Yeah, that was one thing. Like I've never, I don't, I don't care if like my wife would mow the lawn. It's just kind of something that she knows that I enjoy doing, and that it has to be done anyway. So she just knows that I'm gonna go do it. But the only place that I wouldn't let her mow was the hill at the old house, because I was like, I don't always even feel safe mowing that backyard. So
Right. No, I would never want to mow that.
that thing was ridiculous.
It was insane. I'm glad you don't have that
I am
anymore.
too. That it was a disaster waiting to happen. That's all. I was my neighbor before, I don't know, probably 6 months before we moved. Uh, he had a lot more trees closer to the back of his house, so it was just all dirt, and he could never get grass to go there. So he eventually put a ton of rock in that area. It was a huge area. He put rock, and I jokingly said to my wife, I was like, "That's what I want to do to our backyard. Just make it all rock, because it's pointless to try to grow grass back there."
It was crazy, and just like I said, unsafe to
Yeah.
mow it. Like, just not a fun
The
time.
video,
And mowing your lawn should be
right.
fun.
That was the one area I didn't really thoroughly enjoy. I only had probably about 1,500 square feet I actually enjoyed. Um, so, and I got a lot of flack from that video. Not a lot, but there was a few comments where I did the video where I mowed straight up and down the hill. Everybody's like, "You
Right.
shouldn't have done that. That's unsafe."
That's not safe.
And I'm like, I realize that. That's why I put in the title, "Don't do this."
And I get those comments all the time.
I think you guys get them more than I do, because somebody asked that in the first show. They're like, "Who do you guys have? Frequent trollers?" And I don't have frequent trollers. I don't know if you do.
I get I don't know that I have the same guy. There's a couple of guys that'll say things pretty frequently, but I don't have like one guy in particular. But I do get some, yeah, I get called an idiot a lot. And I probably deserve it. So, I mean, it's okay. A lot of my videos I'm mowing barefoot, and so people are always yelling at me about
Yeah.
that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Trolls don't bother me. I actually really enjoy when they show up.
Real O'Dad's always really funny, because he'll post a troll. I mostly see it like in the Discord or something when he'll talk about it, and then I'll go look at his comment back to the person. He'll ask him like, "Hey, thanks for the comment. Do you want some merch?" Like that's what I've returned back to some of the people that have just left, I don't know, dumb comments like, "Hey, thanks for leaving a comment. Do you want some merch?" Because what are you gonna say to that?
Yeah, no, my favorite thing to do when people say something, especially if it's something
Mm.
awful, uh, I like to pin that comment as the pinned comment. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. Give it a thumbs up, heart the comment, and then pin
Yeah.
it. Everyone that I've done that way, the guy never comments back again.
Yeah,
So
that's what I've noticed. There's never
it,
been a back and forth between anybody. It's usually like I don't know, we're up late one night watching YouTube videos, and they felt like leaving a nasty comment, and then you never hear back from them.
yeah,
uh,
yeah, no, you don't have any back and forth with them.
Brett, this is from Jimmy. He said, "Did you get some super juice in the lawn before the hurricane? He heard that helps."
I actually, I went out before the hurricane with my fan to try to make it turn, but that didn't work. So no super
Was
juice though. I don't have any fertilizer right now at all in my house
that's
because I gave it all to Jimmy. Jimmy has the super juice, I think.
That seems a little odd that you don't have any fertilizer, given the company you work for now.
I've only been here a week, but give it time. Give it time. I'll have some before you know it. I promise you that.
uh,
We do have some stuff that
you having a power outage?
uh yeah, maybe. That was weird. I do have some stuff that we're potentially going to be selling on Yardmaster that I'm going to be trying out. So,
Ooh.
little spoiler, a little teaser there for you. Um, so yeah, can't talk about it, but I got some stuff. I got some stuff coming.
Super TA asks you, Brett. So what you doing with the little electric reel?
I sold the electric reel. Sorry. Um, I can't remember who it was, but a viewer, somebody who found my channel, probably from that video, I think he reached out to me and asked if he could buy it from me. And since I was moving, I needed to sell some stuff. I sold 5 mowers before I moved to Florida, and I still have
Do you still have
3.
the John Deere? Or did you
So
sell that one?
I sold the John Deere.
Wait, which one? The rider or the reel?
The reel I gave to John Perry. John Perry has
Oh,
the
I didn't know if
reel.
that was a
I sold the
loaner.
rider. Yeah, I gave it. Well, I loaned it to him, and then I moved. So I guess I gave it to him. John's a good guy. He's paid for many a lunch for me.
Sure.
So you know, it's his mower now. But yeah, so John has that one. I sold that electric reel. I gave away the manual reel. I don't even know. I got rid of so many lawnmowers.
What lawnmowers do you have now? You have the Greensmaster.
Yeah, if I've got the 1600. I've got the zero turn, and I've got so actually, uh, I have 3 mowers now. I only had 2 until today. Alan gave me his the 60 volt. Oh,
Oh, the
Gilly.
Gilly.
He gave me that one because I had one of those, and Jeremy of the Greener Lawn borrowed it and never brought it
Well,
back.
wait a second. I just saw a post that he put on Instagram today of. Oh no, that was maybe a super recycler I saw him get, but I thought it was the 60-volt mower that.
No, it's 60
So
volt.
he has 2
It's the
now.
freaking 60 volt. Yeah, and I have none.
Unreal.
Freaking Jeremy. And he doesn't even mow his own lawn. Can we talk about the fact that Jeremy has his wife mow his
Does
lawn
he?
most of the time?
So his videos are just a sham.
It's all a sham.
Does he really? Does she fertilize too?
I don't know.
She's
Maybe.
probably the brains behind all the info he tries to give off on his
That's right.
YouTube channel.
She's standing behind the camera with cue cards.
I did not know that his wife mows the lawn.
That might be a closely guarded trade secret.
Oh,
so I don't know.
Well, he's not in here tonight. I don't.
If I spoiled something, Jeremy, I'm sorry.
I don't. He hasn't tuned in since we've started this, so I'm offended already.
He's not very supportive of the community.
I mean, I can see that now that he has his wife mow his lawn. He's been
He's
been lying to us this entire time.
Freaking Jeremy. No, but I know his wife enjoys mowing the lawn.
Sure.
So maybe they're gonna do tandem 60-volt mows. Who
That'd
knows?
be cute.
Hold hands and skip and stuff. Yeah, so I have that 60-volt now. No thanks to Jeremy.
Did he give you the charger? Because it'd be useless if you didn't have the charger.
No, I have a bunch of chargers. I've got a couple of them laying around here or there. I love that 60-volt stuff, man. I'm all in on the battery train. I don't know about you. I know you've got that heart stuff. But I am all in on battery stuff. Like at this point, the only gas equipment that I own is the zero turn and the 1600. Everything else is battery. Like I don't even have a gas string trimmer or edger or hedge trimmers or anything like that. They're all battery.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, I'm a big advocate for battery stuff. Like I've said in the past, like that's something I eventually want to switch all of my equipment over to. Um, the only thing that I'm hesitant to at this point in time, because I don't trim anymore with the gas trimmer I've used, because I was a big fan of the Echo that I had. But now that I have that Hart string trimmer, it's been awesome. Um,
They
yeah,
are the ability to just pop a battery off and put it in and then just go instead of because I don't know about you, but I'm rough on equipment. Like I freaking ride things hard and put them away wet. Like I do not treat my equipment the way that I should treat my equipment. And so for me, like I felt like I had to buy a new string trimmer like every other year because like they never you go through a winter and then you like get ready to fire up the string trimmer and you're just pulling it and pulling it and pulling it and pulling it and it just doesn't want to start. And then you gotta clean the carb or replace the car. Like screw that stuff, man. Like I've had the ego battery stuff for 2.5 years now. I think like that stuff is freaking awesome. I just used it today out of the Freedom Factory. Like we did half of the 100,000 square feet of the Freedom Factory with battery
yeah.
stuff, and the battery died, and I didn't have a replacement battery, which is the only downside. But most people aren't doing you know that much. Most people have 10,000 square feet of lawn or
Mm-hmm.
less, and man, that the battery stuff, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's like the I've been using the Hart backpack blower more and more. I'll be honest, like a lot of that stuff I wasn't sold on initially, but then I was like, I need to keep using it. I need to keep using it to get more familiar with it and all that kind of stuff. The backpack blower, and I think this goes with all backpack blowers, it's not meant to be used for, you know, a lot of not very small areas. Like when I, for instance, like when I'm blowing out my, because I clean my lawnmower with the blower that I use, and it's just kind of awkward to use the big backpack blower to kind of blow it off to lift up the hatch where the mulching plug is and blow it out. It's just kind of weird. But everything else, it's fine. Like if you're out in the yard,
Right.
just like you have the full yard, you're blowing leaves around, it's great because it's a lot more ergonomical than something you're holding in your hand. And I really do think, I think at some point in time within the next 10 years, battery powered stuff, is especially mowers, is going to be in probably every, not every, but a lot of, homeowners'
I think
garage.
it's going to be the new
Yeah.
standard. I think going forward they're going to keep getting better and better. Because right now the downside with battery stuff, in my opinion, uh, the thing that sucks with the battery lawn equipment right now is the
Yes.
mowers. They're just not quite there. They're good, but you know they're only good for the right people. Like right now, um, I if you've got a decent sized lawn and you're the type of person that mows every other
Mm-hmm.
week, you can't you can do that with a traditional gas mower and just plow through it. Where you can't do that with an electric mower, it's just not going to do a good
Right.
job. So if they can get them to where they work as good as a traditional gas mower, I think that'll be the new standard. I think most everybody will really start that. But I mean, shoot, they're already starting that push. Like Gravely just released a battery powered zero turn. Uh, yeah, Ego's coming out with a battery powered zero turn. Ryobi has
Yep.
battery powered zero turn. Yeah, they've got you've got battery powered. greens mowers. Toro's got one. John Deere's got them, I believe. Swardman has a battery powered. So does Allet. Like, it's trending that direction, and I like it. It never in a million years. 10 years ago, if you'd have asked me that if I would ever want a battery powered lawnmower, I'd tell you you're freaking crazy. Yeah. But now, man, I love it. I am all in on the battery train.
Yeah, because I don't think it's really fair for people to dog on them all that much, because if you think about how long the combustion engine has been around and how long we've had to perfect that technology, if you want to call it that, versus battery-powered, equipment and just battery-powered stuff in general, if you really think about it, battery-powered stuff is very new. Because it has not been around. We don't have we have not nearly as much money has been dumped into improving the battery powered technology as until recently. Because I think one of the things that's really pushing battery powered stuff in general is like companies like Tesla and other things, because that's the biggest limiting factor is the batteries and really being able to store the electricity in a battery. That's the biggest limiting factor. I don't think people have a hard time making a motor that is extremely powerful. I think the biggest thing is the battery, and I think that's just gonna, like you said, it's just going to get better.
And it's getting there, man. Yeah, I mean, they're making batteries smaller and more powerful. Mm-hmm. Like it's coming. Yeah, and I love it. I freaking love it. I can't wait. I can't wait for the day that I can ditch the gas engine on a mower.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when it comes to like real mowers, a greens mower specifically, the new technology, I'm about 10 years away on the used market, because Toro's not sending me a $12,000 real mower like they did that Dr. Netzel. Yeah. But yeah, so when they come on the used market, I'll buy one of those. But yeah, they're freaking awesome. I love it. I love it.
Well, I think we're gonna start wrapping up the show there. Brett, do you have anything coming out that you want to kind of plug with your channel? Anything exciting you just want to give the viewers here a little taste of?
I have no idea.
You're just shooting from the hip like we do on this show.
Dude, I will be the first to tell you, I do not plan anything. I talk to these guys like Jimmy and Justin and Jordan and these guys. They're like, oh yeah, I've got this video coming, and then I got this video coming, and and I shot this video already. I'm like shoot, I don't even know what I'm filming tomorrow. I have no idea.
Well, that's all right.
I have a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah, you got a lot. You just moved in, so.
Yeah, all I can say is that I've got a lot to do, and I'm going to film some of it. Yeah, and some of it Alan's going to film. Yes. Who knows? Who knows what you're going to actually see?
Well, Brett, I appreciate you joining me tonight. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope at some point in the future we'll definitely have you on again. But I had a lot of fun. I hope you did. Just kind of shooting the stuff with lawn care and how it relates to what we do on a day-to-day life and all those kind of things. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. Everybody in the chats and everybody that tuned in tonight, I greatly appreciate everybody that tunes in every week, because we've had a good steady audience, and that means a lot to me. That support is really important to me. So thanks again. I hope you guys have a great Friday evening, a great weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that fun jazz. And
there's 8 likes on this video and 24 people. So go fix that before you leave.
There you go.
And then if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe.
There you go. You guys have a good weekend. Thanks again a bunch, everybody. We'll see you next week.